Hey everyone, day 43 of a 90-day no alcohol pledge, commitment, challenge, whatever you want to call it. My name's Henry. I'm a professor of philosophy and religion and a spiritual leader. Please seek professional help when dealing with substance abuse issues. You owe it to yourself to get done with the substance abuse and deal with all the underlying issues. So today I want to talk about the social realities of drinking alcohol. I've become really wanting to think more about the fact that we have this very addictive, very powerful, and very dangerous substance that has become normalized as part of our social life, our religious life, spiritual life, family life. And what do I mean by that? Even church or synagogue events can have alcohol, and family dinners can have alcohol. I was out with friends and telling them about my 90-day pledge, and they said, oh, over the holidays, how are you going to do it? As if the holidays, reconnecting with people, has to have something to do with alcohol. And we've normalized it. It's like, I wouldn't say, yeah, I'm so glad I'm getting together with the family so we can do some cocaine and ecstasy. But, oh yeah, have a few bottles of wine is not a problem. But it really, for all intents and purposes, it's the same thing. Alcohol is pretty much just as dangerous. It's more prevalent. It destroys families. It destroys individual lives. I think in the United States now, 88,000 people die every year. 240 people die a day from what would otherwise be preventable. So it's this amazingly dangerous substance that we have normalized as so many aspects of our society. Sporting events, dating, go out for dinner, have wine, going out to clubs, how young people socialize. It's become so normalized. So dealing with that now, how do I deal with social situations? And so I was out with friends and this weekend, and we were at a club listening to music, and most people were drinking, most people in a controlled way, but there were a couple people out of control, as there always is at bars and clubs and restaurants, sadly. But so for me, the really great news is I didn't drink at all. Really wasn't tempted. I was really more afraid I would somehow give in and ruin this 90-day pledge. And that would have been a big message to me. But no problem. So the way I think it works for me is just order soda or coffee or tea or water. Just get a nice meal, look forward to the meal part. And I had just as much fun as anyone else. Yeah, I did look with a little bit of envy, some people drinking wine or beer for a moment, but nothing really that major. I mean, I looked with envy at other delicious meals too. So it wasn't a tremendous thing, but you do have to do some no saying. You do have to do some inhibition, some controlling. But I mean, the really great news is overall had just as much fun, had just as great conversations. The ride home I felt especially good because I didn't have any alcohol in my system, could drive 100%. And I never drive when I'm drunk, but after drinking, you're not 100%. So I was really glad to be at 100%. So the good news is socially you can make it work. You just have to get over the awkwardness if you feel that. But a lot of people don't drink. And so you have to be confident in yourself. You have every right to be there and enjoy the evening. So it's just done. Just have coffee or tea or soda or water and enjoy the evening. And I think the most important point is what really made the evening great was being with friends and having a conversation with them, catching up with them. You don't need to take this society-approved opium, this this very dangerous substance doesn't have to be part of something so good, which is socializing with friends. And that's, I think, really good news for me, that socializing with friends in and of itself is what it's about, to socialize with friends. You don't have to do this substance. And you're really not missing out on anything. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they hear 90-day challenge or stop drinking, they think, oh my gosh, you're missing out on all the fun. But you're really not. You can do everything without drinking. Alcohol is just a drug. It's just a mind-altering substance. But you can be just as happy without it. And that, I think that's a great lesson to learn. And so many people are afraid. They think, oh, it's this like enormous sacrifice. Oh, it makes social situations boring. Oh, what am I going to do with my life? What are we going to do? Just sit around? Well, I mean, think about what you do when you are indulging in alcohol. You're talking, you're enjoying the music, you're enjoying being out, you're enjoying your food. And yeah, so you can just enjoy life without this substance. So this has been something that has been really worrying me as I go back to socializing more and seeing what this entails. As I said many times, I did 90 days, and at the end of 90 days, I just did not want to indulge in alcohol. I didn't want to take alcohol for really any reason. It was really other people brought me back in. So now I'm really having to fight that. I don't want to call it peer pressure because no one pressured me, but I have to really look more to defining myself as who I am. And part of that is a sense of compassion and spirituality for all these people who are alcoholics, who do have a difficult problem with alcohol. And by not drinking, I think I'm joining a community that is supportive of my friends in AA, my friends who have difficulty with alcohol and other substances, and just generally people. I don't have, I feel like I'm a part of a better world. I'm showing a leadership role. I'm modeling a kind of way of being in the world. And I've had friends who've stopped drinking because of who I am and what I've done. And I think that's a very affirming thing. And again, I'm not really, don't want to be this, thinking I'm doing something so great, because one of the principles I've been trying to make is that overall, I am, and I think most people would be happier over the course of 90 days, over the course of their life, by not drinking alcohol. So I'm not really giving up anything. I'm really not making an enormous sacrifice, so I don't deserve to be lauded for that. But nevertheless, I do feel I'm part of a more responsible community. And just knowing that there are other people struggling, I can be part of that and still model this sense of having joy without the booze. So I wanted to work with some statistics on alcohol that professionals tell us. What did Mark Twain said? There are lies, damn lies, and statistics being worse. But here are some. Basically, 4 to 5% of the U.S. population, and fairly similar across the world, 4 to 5% will really have alcohol use disorder. People who really are drinking way too much. They may be functional alcoholics who have a job, go to work, are able to work, but then at 4 or 5 in the afternoon they start drinking. They drink all night, and they drink way too much, and they're physically addicted. So yeah, alcohol use disorder. And of course it can get worse. Some people drink 20 drinks in a night, and I don't know how the body can last with that. But so the population of the U.S., 335 million, something like that. And so 4 to 5%, I mean, there's about about 15 million Americans who have what they like to call alcohol use disorder. That's a lot of people, and again, that I want to be part of the solution to that problem. I'm not saying you have to give up alcohol just because some people have a problem with it, but you can look at it as you're being part of the answer, being part of the solution, being part of the right side of history, and I think it's um, a spiritual track, a spiritual path with this. You really do care about humanity as a whole. That's my area. My area of specialization is not medicine, is not substance abuse, but spirituality. So I want to call attention to that. We can really look at that compassion and care and what the Christians call agape or love, and reach out to all the people suffering from alcohol use disorder. And I think that can be very gratifying, and that makes not drinking have a positive effect. So 15 million people in the US, and about 88,000 Americans die every year directly from alcohol. Car accidents, cirrhosis, other accidents, mostly poor health caused by alcohol. It's not necessarily old people in their 70s, 80s, 90s, 100s. It can be young people too. It can be the 12-year-old killed in a car accident, the 19-year-old killed in a car accident, and et cetera, et cetera. So it is very dangerous. Another statistic is, although it affects 4 to 5% of the population, college-age students, it can be as high as 20%. And I think that's part of the facts of life, that a lot of kids at college, young adults, the brains aren't fully mature till 25. There's a lot of experimentation with alcohol with people under 25 at college. Why college? Well, they're away from parents. The colleges do jack to control it, and there's plenty of alcohol. Whereas kids who don't go to college tend to work, and they're working every day. So they're much less interested in getting drunk. They have other things to do. So this whole college aspect of our society, as if college should be some time to experiment with alcohol. It's another part of how our society has so normalized college that even in education, alcohol has become a part of who we are, what we should be, what you should experiment with. So yeah, 20% of college students could have some sort of issue with alcohol. So again, it's normalized in society, and so in some way, as an adult American, a Westerner, you have to have some way of defining yourself differently and in distinction from this hyper-normalization of alcohol. So that's another spiritual aspect, that really you are responsible for yourself as a person. You are a unique individual, and you have every right to define yourself as yourself according to your values. And you have every right to be as happy as you possibly can be. And so again, 90 days to see, are you happier, or are you missing out on anything? At the end of 90 days, are you thinking, oh, I missed out so much on alcohol? Then maybe you want to do another 90 days because you maybe just didn't see it. Maybe it takes longer than 90 days for some people. But yeah, defining yourself in distinction from peer pressure, from society, from normalization, even at college, when you're young, is to finally see the light that you are your own person, and you have every right to question this insistence, almost, this promotion of alcohol. So I think that's a very positive spiritual message, And by defining yourself, you will develop mental toughness, the ability to say no to yourself and others, to alcohol, and you will be on a spiritual path of self-improvement. You can look for other things. And you can have these two spiritual things of being a better self and feeling a sense of connection with the greater human community.